What's new this month at Rogers Railroad Junction? We have Athearn ready to roll and SD40s in Southern Pacific's popsicle livery. A brief and somewhat ill-advised attempt to harken back to the glory days of the daylight era, the somewhat whimsical mashup of warm hues was mockingly dubbed by employees with the name of the frozen confectionery whose logo it somewhat resembled. A handful of locomotives received this treatment before railroad management came to their collective senses and bloody nose livery became the system-wide standard once again. In some instances, shop crews didn't even have the heart to finish the job, as represented here. With a modified body that identifies them as products of SP's GRIP rebuild program, features include extended-length dynamic brake grids, a full SP light package, and even the built-in toolbox that SP had installed under the catwalk on the fireman's side. And of course, there's a fully integrated Soundtrax brand Economy decoder with full sound effects. So ugly, they're cool. Sort of. Moving on, there's SD40T-2s. A smaller version of the iconic SD45 T-2 tunnel motor, these locomotives featured the same oversized grillwork towards their rear decks, allowing the radiators to pull colder, fresher air when running through long tunnels. Built on the same frame as their larger cousins, but with only a 16-cylinder engine block versus the SD45's 20 cylinders, these units were substantially shorter in their car bodies. This allowed designers to build an extended snoot nose and provide crews with much-needed storage space and an expanded toilet facility. Painted in both as-delivered and post-merger liveries, other modifications include plated over Mars lights and aftermarket ditch lights, identifying these locomotives at different points in their service lives. Other features include full rooftop detail, including equipment for the SP's failed Locotrol wireless control system, extended fuel tank, oversized snowplow and anti-climber, and a Soundtrax decoder. And in addition to all that, there's SD50s as well. Essentially an uprated version of the venerable SD40, EMD boosted engine RPMs from 900 to 950, coaxing an extra 600 horsepower out of the normally 3,000 pony block. It was hoped that the combination of increased power with respectable fuel economy would woo railroads back, which were flocking to the General Electric's -7 series locomotives at the time. What it did instead was seriously tarnish EMD's reputation with its customers. The boosted block guzzled fuel and suffered from reliability issues both mechanically and electrically. The increased revs raised engine compression to a level that blew seals and scored cylinder liners, and overheating became an ongoing problem. Eventually, EMD decided to cut their losses and move on to the 60 series, which proved substantially more successful. For the miniature version, however, things are somewhat more reliable. With all-wheel electrical pickup and a 5-pole motor, cut levers, spare knuckles, MU hoses, fully detailed trucks, and prototype-appropriate snowplows. Oh, and an Economy decoder, too. And finally, from Ready to Roll, Bethgone Coal Porters. Part of Athearn's Primed for Grime line, with surfaces pre-prepped for weathering details, these cars were first introduced in 1994 and boasted lightweight aluminum construction with a unique fish belly design for a lower center of gravity. Featuring rotary and coupler stripes, realistic loads, photo-etched crossover platforms, freestanding grab irons, and RP25 metal wheels. And finally, moving on from Athearn, we have a newcomer this month in American Limited with TK Series tank cars of the Santa Fe. Some of the first welded tank cars to be produced, Santa Fe ordered 250 of these cars in 1949, expanding the order by another 200 cars 4 years later. Labeled with colorful banding to identify the type of product they carried, many of these cars remained in service until the 1980s. Features include optimized weighting, realistic safety placards in appropriate positions, mesh catwalks, and no catwalks on later versions. And shifting to a non-rail topic, custom-built big rigs from local vendor Truck and Stuff. With hand-customized trailers and either Kenworth or Peterbilt tractors, a variety of eye-popping paint schemes are available. A must-have for anyone looking to detail a modern layout, or just looking to build a really kickin' piggyback consist. And then we've got N-Scale, which has decided to salute the troops this month, starting with Union Pacific number 1943. Often referred to as the Troop Tribute Unit or the Spirit of the Union Pacific, number 1943 is an SD-70 Ace with special one-off paint scheme intended to honor the service of America's fighting men and women, and features motifs from all branches of the armed services. Built by Cato, a 5-pole motor with dual flywheels, non-radial HTSC trucks, directional headlights, and working ditch lights are all standard. And finally, commemorative Air Force container flats from Microtrains. Set on 60-foot flat cars, scale containers feature artwork inspired by some of the most famous aircraft ever flown by the United States Air Force and its predecessor organizations. And of course, this is all just the first wave of cool stuff to arrive this year. So tune in next month and see what else is new at Rogers Railroad Junction today.